So, is it really shocking how much coverage it is? Let's take a look. Now, I did find my shade and I can't remember. I bought Light 008 to mix in with a shade because I thought one of them might be too yellow. I dug my finger in it. So I haven't actually tried it, but I did put my finger in to feel the texture. I think I'm going to use Medium 048 or Light 026. I think that's more. It looks so yellow. Okay, I just put my finger. It looks fine, kind of fine. Let's use Light 024. And so here's the deal. Everyone's been using it with the brush, the KVD brush, which is basically like a dense brush. And being like, wow, it gives so much coverage. Here's the deal. If you're going to use a really dense brush, this is just one from Sigma, you're going to get full coverage. It's the same with anything. Eyeshadow, you use a denser brush to apply, use a blending brush to blend because it's, you know, finer, fill, whatever. Being a balm foundation, I don't think it's going to be very good for my skin because I'm extremely oily. I think it might be nicer on drier skin. However, a friend did message me their experience with dry skin and it looked very cakey and broken up by the end of the day and they were extremely unimpressed. So just before we get into it, I feel like, why am I wearing no rings? Let's fix that immediately. I feel like here's the deal, influencers out there and aspiring beauty influencers. You don't have to pretend you like something or pretend something is good or pretend something is better than average or better than good just because everyone else is. Now, I just want to say that because not everyone can have this reaction to applying a foundation. Well, I don't know. I haven't used it yet. So we will see. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a dense brush one side like everybody has been in other content. And then how I personally would apply like a balmy cream with a full coverage is very small amounts at a time and really buff it into the skin. With a full coverage, just because a foundation is full coverage, it doesn't mean you need to use more. This is a common mistake I see a lot online. People that are using a full coverage foundation will go in with loads and then whack it on. It's full coverage no matter how much you use. So use a small amount and build up if you need to. Okay, let's do it. So I'm just gonna go straight in with my brush. I'm joking, I've experienced full coverage before. Okay, so a little really does go a long way. I can see by that. I think I'm going to do one whole half of my face with just this amount. And of course, that is so yellow. Somebody help me. Okay, so we're going to take the we're going to take the medium 048. Let's hope that's a better match this time. Kind of, but my camera's making everything look yellow. So again, I'm using a dense brush, so it's going to give me that full coverage. I'm not using any filters, nothing like that. Just applying a foundation as is. Okay, so yes, it's very full coverage. Am I in shock? No, because it's no different to if I was to use a concealer on my whole face. It has gone quite smooth over my nose, which can usually be quite full of pores. Well, it's quite porous and can see. It does look kind of smooth. Do I think you need this much? Absolutely not. I mean, that's just something people are doing to kind of go a little bit viral. Let me use it on the other side, and I kind of want to show how I would use it to maybe get its full potential. Bear in mind, it's full coverage anyway. We don't need to, that kind of brush is so unnecessary to use with a full coverage unless you want it plastered on. And this is plastered on. I don't know how it looks on camera, but it looks, in real life, it looks like it's obviously foundation. So I'm going to grab like a small like powdery brush and I'm just going to tap a tiny bit into the compact. I'm just going to start on the cheek and really, really work it into the skin and buff that product into the skin. I'm actually going to take a little bit from here because I put so much. And the reason I'm using a powder brush and not something flat and dense is because I want that nice buffed in look. I want full coverage, yes, but I want it to look like my skin also. I'm circling outwards. And now I'm going to apply a little bit more and just tap on the areas where I feel I need more coverage in general. I kind of always get like these red bits right here. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit more extra coverage. Okay, now I'm impressed. So that is a really nice foundation. When I think of full coverage, especially as someone with oily skin, I do kind of panic because I'm a little bit like, oh shit, it's going to sit in all my pores. It's going to look cakey and horrible. Whereas this looks really, really nice. I still feel like I can work on it a little bit more and get that really soft application. This is too much. This is a mess. This is way too much. And what a waste of product as well. If you have a nice foundation, don't waste it like this. If this is full coverage doesn't mean excessive product. A foundation is made to be full coverage. You don't need to use extra. And that's no shame to full coverage. I like full coverage. It's a shame to waste product. That's all it is. When you don't need to use excessive amounts of a product to achieve a coverage. I've used the smallest amount, same coverage, but this you can see more because it's so caked on. You really don't need to do that. Let's see if we can work this in a little bit and get a little bit more buffed. Exactly the same product, same coverage, using only the smallest amount. You really don't need to use that much. Is this a good foundation? I think it's really, really nice. I think it looks great on the skin. And